Just how much debt is our federal government in? Canadians will get a clearer idea when the Liberals table their first budget under Mark Carney this November 4th. The Prime Minister has asked cabinet members to cut spending, but the Finance Minister says there will be money to help boost our flagging economy.
We'll be ambitious in our investment and we'll be rigorous in our expenses, because what I've been explaining and Canadians understand very easily is that we need to spend less so that we have more money then to be able to invest in the type of things that will make us more resilient.
The Prime Minister confirmed Sunday the deficit will be substantially higher than last year's $61.9 billion deficit, but didn't say by how much. During question period, the opposition leader pushed Carney for any more information.
Deficits drive up inflation, grocery prices, housing costs, and interest rates. They drive out investment from our country and uncertainty that destabilizes our economy. That's why every other Prime Minister in Canadian history has announced the deficit at the beginning of the fiscal year. We're 6 months in. Does he even know the size of his own deficit?
The Leader of the Opposition just mentioned interest rates. One thing I know is that Canadian interest rates are much lower than American interest rates. They're lower because this country's fiscal situation is strong.
The Bank of Canada governor said pressures to underlying inflation have diminished and the removal of reciprocal tariffs have helped. Tiff Macklem says the bank doesn't believe a recession will happen this year, but with a weaker economic picture, the bank cut interest rates 25 basis points.
Once we have the budget, we will be assessing the implications of the government's plans on the economic outlook, what that means for growth, for inflation, and ultimately for what we need to do.
Economist Tony Stilo says regardless of how wise new federal spending is, there is a risk of inflation. He adds the global economic situation is precarious and Canada could face high unemployment and inflation at the same time.
Stagflation is a risk. It's more of a risk in countries like the US. And on top of that, the other key concern I have is supply chain disruptions that could lead to the sort of experience we had post-pandemic, where we see some of these disruptions in supply lines lead to higher costs, higher prices, feed into inflation expectations. So the risk is still there. We just think it's lessened.
In Ottawa, Shally Lee, City News.